Hi everyone, you just heard me play the Schroeder Etude that is on the West Virginia All-State High School audition. I have two suggestions today, two teaching points that I hope will make your audition a little bit more successful with this etude. The first one is with the bow. So this etude uses the same bowing the whole time, which is 1/8 and 2/16. I call that bowing down wiggle, up wiggle. Some people might call it cheeseburger, cheeseburger. I've heard run pony, jump pony, big, little, big, little. Whatever you call it, the principles of playing it are always the same. So I call it down wiggle, up wiggle for a reason. So what we're gonna do is when we play the 8th note on a down bow, we're gonna use our arm. So down. Now, when we get to the wiggles or the 2/16, we're actually going to use our forearm. We're going to hinge from our elbow and have loose fingers to do the wiggle. Okay, so down, which is arm, and then wiggle with your elbow hinge. And then we're going to go up, which is we're going to release the arm again, and then we're going to wiggle out the frog. So let me demonstrate that again. Arm, down, forearm, wiggle, up, arm, wiggle, down, wiggle, up, down, wiggle, up. Now sometimes I see people play this like this. What that is using your arm for every single note. And what I'm suggesting is that we want to use our arm for the 8th notes, and then our lower arm and fingers for the 16th, for the wiggle. Another thing to keep in mind with this down wiggle, up wiggle bowing is that you can change how much bow you use on the down and the up, depending on your character or your dynamic. So in forte, I might actually use almost my whole bow for the down and the up. But for piano, I'm probably not going to use more than about half. Whatever you do, however much bow you decide to use on the down part and the up part, the wiggle parts always need to be really little, and they need to be with the lower part of your arm. The next teaching point I'd like to discuss with you is the fact that this etude uses half position all over the place. It's everywhere. Now, you're probably thinking half position is not really that big of a deal. You just go first position, half position, done. Well, I find that a lot of students struggle with intonation in half position. And one of the reasons why, there could be many reasons why, but I think one of the most common reasons why is that our thumb is actually doing the job of holding the cello in place and getting the string down, and therefore when we try to scoot back to half position, it can't really do it because it's grabbing on so hard. It's literally choking your cello. So what I would suggest doing is making sure that your feet and your seat are actually doing the work of holding the cello. And you can test this out by alternating pizzicatos with your right and left hands. Did my cello wiggle at all? No, that means it's nice and secure without my thumb's help. The final line presents a passage that is pretty tricky in terms of half position and a lot of other elements at play. So not only do we have a shift over the open string, we have to land in extended position, and then we got to shift all the way back to half position and then back up to first position again. That's a lot. So again, the biggest key here is to make sure that your thumb is super floating, gliding on the back of that neck. Because if it's locked in place or too heavy, there's no way that you'll be able to do a shift, an extension, and then a shift back to half position with the speed that you really need for this piece.